Okay, good morning. This week we are back on the farm, but it's going to be the last time on the farm for probably a couple of weeks because we've got some other stuff that we need to show you guys of what we've been getting up to elsewhere. But before I start, I just want to say a massive thank you to all the new subscribers that have joined the channel. We've had a big influx over the last week or two, but keep it up guys. Hit the subscribe, hit the like button, and that'll notify you every Sunday morning of our video. So, onto the farm. On Saturday, we piped all the underfloor heating piping around here, which we haven't got any footage of, but we piped all of that round, and while we have been away at the Yams show, Wayne has been back in and poured the Anhydrite screed. So at the end of this week now, Saturday, Monday sort of thing, Wayne is coming back to make a start on the stud-work walls in there, so we'll get a bit of that ready for when the next time we're back here. The other bits that have been going on, this here. So this is a landscaping bund that when we very first did the planning for the 2 pig sheds and the temporary dwelling, there was a few bits of landscaping that we had to put in. So one of this was this landscaping bund here. It worked quite well because some of the material that we dug off from the site we could put here, and at the same time that's where I planted all that row of conifers along the top, as I did with the other bund, to act as that sort of wax screen like the Americans use around any sort of livestock unit. It's also given us a bit of a platform now because I've got to find somewhere to house the oil tank for the boiler that's going to fire the underfloor heating and all the hot water of the bio unit. So what we've done, it's got to be gravity fed, so we want it a little bit higher than where the boiler is going to be sat, which we're having an external boiler because we don't want to lose the room inside the unit. So that there is the pad that we're going to sit that in. So we've dug that into the bank, or Chris and the guys have. We put 3 concrete panels around as a little retaining wall so we can fill that bund back to it afterwards. It sits a little bit higher, so Papa G's got somewhere to get his mower stuck against, and that there will have a concrete slab base in, and then from there we will then run the pipe work round to where the boiler is going to sit at the back of the unit. As for around here now, we've got AMMAT coming on Monday of next week. They're going to start the curbing round here and get this area here tarmacked up so it's nice and clean for when we're doing all the works in the bio unit and we're not traipsing crap all in there all the time. So on the outside, we're not doing it at level thresholds like we did around the house. We're going 2 courses of brick below, and there's going to be effectively a path about 1 metre or 1.2 all the way around the outside of the unit, and we're going to drop the depth of the curb to where is effectively going to be the car park. So this will all be black tarmac. The path is going to be black tarmac as well, and then that will go in between them 2 buildings just to your right, and also round here. So we've got a pathway down to where the toilet is, which is accessible from the outside because we put an outside toilet in as well. Come around here. So on the yards, we've got all that concrete which you saw was poured last time. We've finished pouring these bits through here now, or Chris has, and that's back through then to the existing yard in front of the pig buildings. Now we've done half like we said we were going to do. We're going to let this half go off, and then when this half has gone off, we'll come back then and pour the other half. So we've constantly got a route through. But the other thing that we've done, we've got these 2 ponds here. Now, the route through was quite narrow, so we wanted to just widen that a little bit, but also we didn't want the banks caving in because the ponds were quite deep compared to the yard level. So what we've done is we've set some posts in on some concrete slabs. We've put some support bracings in off them that sit under effectively this slab so that they can't fall in because they're almost like that. So they're trying to pick up the concrete yard that's here. And then we put these panels. Now these panels are basically just stuff that we've got left over from round at Western Way and work and jobs over the last number of years that they've not been brilliant panels, so they've been rejected from a particular job, but for what we're using them for, they're great because it's just to retain the ground round the outside to stop all of that material falling in, but at the same time give us a nice working yard area finish point. We can put a rail across the top, and then when we do all the fencing, again, it's tall enough that no cattle can effectively get out. So we're not going to go all the way around, we're just going to leave that as it is now. It's just basically to fill in and hold the ground where the pathway through or the driveway through onto this yard area down here is. At the same time, round this side here, that can then, we've got the poo tank to sit in over there. So we want to put the poo tank in, it gives that clear separation, we can fill that ground in all the way back up too. On the inside, so this one is the attenuation pond. So the idea of that is the entire site's worth of water comes into this pond here. So all the drainage that we've installed since we started collects into this pond here. The water level rises and discharges through the pipe into the existing watercourse at the set rate that we were given by the drainage consultants back in the beginning when we first started. So that's the purpose of this pond. So these panels are not going to make any difference whatsoever. We've got a bit of just tidying up around the bottom, just putting the soil back to the panels, but ultimately the pond will still do its job. We've left that side nearest you guys open so that we can get in to maintain anything or to clean it out once a year and get rid of all the silt so that the pond works and does what it should do. But ultimately it's just tidied everything up. I know it looks a little bit raw at the minute because it's bright concrete, but ultimately that's what's doing its job here. And then on this side, this is the same principle, but the water level doesn't alter in this pond the other side of here. So all these panels are really for is just to stop this ground from sliding off into the pond, as we've widened it probably just over 1 metre or so. So it just gives us a bit more room coming in and out with all the machinery, with Arctics as well for filling the feed bins. So it just gives us that bit of extra room, and then we could put some gates on here, and then that yard is completely separate from the pig yard, which is behind you. So it gives that clear separation that you don't get to go onto the pig unit again unless you've got a clear barrier between the pigs and the cattle. And like I say then, the last thing that we need to do then is just that last strip of concrete to come out, join us up here. We've got that nice big splay, so when we come to turn wagons around when we're loading, unloading pigs, or we've got feed on the pig yard, if we do have bales again that we need storage out on this yard, it's just made us a little bit of a turning round point for the wagons on the yard. Last thing really on the farm is we've had again a number of comments, thank you very much, on ideas for the clamp and the other bits and bobs. I think I've got an idea of which way we're going now. So I've got Justin coming over from Ben Wharf's office on Tuesday of next week. We're going to discuss all the bits and bobs about the silage clamp, the bunker style building that I was on about, how we sort of fit that in with the farm yard, that side of that hedgerow now. And I've also got the planning drawings drawn up for the shed to go at the end of where the 2 new sheds are going in the field. So I'm going to run all that by Justin before I show you guys anything, to see if there's anything from a planning perspective that we've really got to chop, change or move around. But I think ultimately it all works pretty well. Albeit the one building at the end will be a later application, because I'll have to wait, I think, to get the certain ecology reports done at the right time of year before we can start thinking about going down that end of the site. But that's up to Justin, he's going to sort that out. But that will then really finish off this part of the yard. The other bit that we've been getting up to this week, we've been across to Yams, which is the Yorkshire Agricultural Machinery Show we said we were going to. The show was a 1-day show. It's not a massive show, but it was really, really busy this year, which was really good. We saw a lot of new faces, we had a lot of inquiries, and we saw a lot of old faces and customers that we've been working for. One of which, I just need to put a little reminder out there. You'll know who you are, but there is a father and there is a son, and the son is doing his GCSEs, and old Daddy-O hasn't decided or agreed on a price per GCSE yet. We did discuss a figure of £100, so just bear that in mind, and obviously that's going to be a talking point over Sunday lunch this afternoon. But if you like what you've seen, hit subscribe, ring the bell. We've got a bit of a montage of some stuff going on the farm and a few bits at Yams. And if you look closely enough at Yams, there's something that's coming to the farm that was there.